We're shifting the workflow's grand design, leaving old school limits far behind. Forge deeper human connection, a synergy of new direction.
Let's build something brilliant together.
The Marblism Partner Network.
At 4:17 on Tuesday afternoon, a homeowner searched AC replacement near me. She found Harbor Home Comfort, called the number at the top of the website, and heard a voicemail that said, "Please leave a message." She left one. At 4:24, she called the next company. By dinner, that competitor had scheduled a home visit. Harbor's owner never knew they had lost the opportunity.
And Harbor's owner would probably call that a marketing problem.
Exactly. But the lead was not missing. The buying experience was difficult. Welcome to the Marblism Effect. I am Eva Marble, and today we are not starting with another campaign, another social post, or another promise to generate more traffic. We are going to inspect what happens after attention arrives.
Good content should do more than fill space. It should answer the question that brought someone there in the first place. If the search says AC replacement near me, and the page says comfort you can count on, the business may sound pleasant, but the visitor is still wondering, do you replace my system? And do you serve my neighborhood?
Wait, back up. That is already the first leak. Businesses often measure from the form submission forward. The customer has made 3 decisions before the form appears. Do I understand the offer? Do I trust this company? And is this worth the effort of contacting them?
That is the audit. We will follow one fictional company from a search to a phone call, an estimate, a review, and an agreement. Penny will challenge the message and the proof. Stan will challenge the response and the follow-up. I will keep asking the uncomfortable question, what should the owner fix first?
Because if we find 14 problems, the owner does not need 14 new projects. They need the one change most likely to help a customer move.
Here are the numbers for Harbor Home Comfort. Last month, they received 38 inquiries. They answered 24 calls or messages, sent 17 estimates, and booked 6 jobs. The owner says, our marketing is underperforming. Stan, where would you begin?
I would not begin by buying more leads. I would ask what happened to the 14 inquiries they did not answer, and what happened between the 17 estimates and the 6 bookings. But before that, I want to see what promise attracted the inquiries. If the wrong people are arriving, better follow-up will only help Harbor politely process the wrong demand.
Fair. I can live with that.
So we start at the first checkpoint. Can the visitor understand the offer? Penny, here is Harbor's homepage headline. Comfort you can count on since 1998. Under it, the page lists repair, installation, maintenance, indoor air quality, financing, and emergency service. What do you hear?
I hear a company with history. I do not yet hear the answer to the search. The page needs a plain sentence near the top. Harbor replaces and repairs heating and cooling systems for homeowners in the Lakeside region. Then it can explain the differences between repair, replacement, and maintenance. Let's rank this the right way. Answer the urgent question first, decorate the answer second.
I agree with the service area and the service type. I am less convinced that the home page needs to explain everything. A person with a broken system may not want to read a guide before calling.
I am not asking for everything. I am asking for enough. If the page forces a homeowner to call just to discover whether Harbor handles their type of system, the business has created an unnecessary question.
That distinction is useful. The fix is not write 50 articles. It is one clear promise, 3 visible service paths, and a service area answer. Penny can review the search intent and the questions people use. The human owner still confirms what Harbor actually offers and where it operates.
I turned that topic into traffic only if the page earns the click after it arrives. A search result can bring someone in, but the page has to reduce uncertainty. Otherwise, the traffic report looks healthy while the customer quietly leaves.
Now we test trust. Harbor has 12 online reviews, most of them saying some version of great company, highly recommend. Helpful but broad. Penny, what would you change?
I would place one relevant review beside the next action. For replacement, show a review that mentions the old system, the options, the installation, and what happened afterward. For emergency repair, show a different kind of proof. The customer is not asking, "Are you generally nice?" They are asking, "Have you handled a situation like mine?"
That is better than building a giant testimonial library. If the booking button is beside a review about a furnace installation, do not make the visitor hunt through 5 pages for it.
And no invented proof. An agent can organize existing reviews, identify repeated customer concerns, and suggest where evidence belongs. It cannot create a result Harbor never delivered. That is the human approval point.
Right. The customer can forgive a small company for not having 100 reviews. They are less likely to forgive a claim that feels polished but unsupported.
Let's move to the call. It is 4:17. The owner is on a job. The voicemail says, "Leave a message." No estimated response time, no option to request a text, no question about whether the caller has heat or cooling. Rachel, the AI receptionist, would be useful here, but you are reviewing this with us as the business team. What is the smallest credible improvement?
The smallest fix is a response promise. Tell the caller when someone will respond and give them another route if the situation is urgent. Then, capture the request in one place.
And make the voicemail sound like a person, not a locked door. Something like, "We are helping another homeowner right now. Leave your name, service address, and whether you need repair or replacement, and we will respond by 6. If the situation is urgent, use the text option on our website."
That is good, although I would not ask for the service address before anyone has agreed to a visit. Name, number, and the basic problem are enough at this stage. Yes, fair. The customer should not have to complete an intake form just to find out whether someone will call back.
That is our first real disagreement, and it improves the answer. The goal is not maximum information. It is enough information for a useful next step. A receptionist agent can help answer common questions, capture the inquiry, and route it. A person still decides what qualifies as urgent, what information is appropriate to request, and when a technician should become involved.
Now we reach the 17 estimates. Harbor sends this email. "Attached is your estimate. Let us know." That is the entire message.
That email is doing a lot of nothing.
It is technically an email. I will give it that.
The customer has a number, but not a decision. Here is a stronger version. You have 2 options. Repair the current unit for approximately this amount, or replace it for approximately that amount. Based on the age and the issue you described, we recommend option 2 because of these reasons. I can review the difference with you Tuesday at 3, or you can reply with your questions. That creates a path without cornering the buyer.
And if Tuesday at 3 is not real, do not promise it. Clarity includes keeping the promise.
Absolutely. I am not defending fake urgency or automated pressure. I am defending a scheduled conversation. The customer should know whether Harbor will follow up, when that will happen, and what they can do next.
This is where the AI executive assistant can organize the work behind the scenes, the estimate date, the promised follow-up, the customer's stated goal, and the owner responsible for the next action. Here is your priority list. First, every estimate without a scheduled follow-up. Second, every unanswered inquiry. Third, the website language. The order matters because a perfect homepage does not help the person who is already waiting for a reply.
That is a good example of assigning the right job to the right agent. Penny can identify what searchers need to understand. A social and community agent can organize public proof and customer questions. A receptionist can cover the first contact. Stan can structure qualification and follow-up. The executive assistant keeps the fixes from becoming a beautiful list nobody touches.
And Linda can review the agreement for language that deserves a closer look. I want to be careful here. That does not mean the agent decides whether the contract is legally suitable.
Exactly. Linda can translate dense language into plain English and flag questions for qualified counsel. She should not invent guarantees, approve the agreement, or replace legal advice. Suppose Harbor's contract says, installation shall be completed within a reasonable period, subject to circumstances. That may deserve a human review, because the customer may reasonably ask, what period and what circumstances?
And if the answer is simply, we will tell you when we know, that is not much of an answer. A clearer process might explain the expected window, what could change it, and who contacts the customer if it does.
People do not need every uncertainty removed. They need uncertainty named honestly. That is how trust works. A sentence that says, most installations are completed within 2 weeks, permit delays can extend that timeline, and we will update you if that happens, is much easier to understand than a broad promise that later needs explaining.
Let's score Harbor before we give them a giant improvement plan. We will use 5 checkpoints. Understand. Can a new visitor tell what Harbor does, who it serves, and what problem it solves? Trust. Is there relevant evidence? Contact. Can the customer reach the business and know what happens next? Decide. Can they compare options and get answers? Commit. Can they agree, pay, book, and understand what happens afterward?
Score each from 0 to 2. 0 means the customer is blocked or likely confused. 1 means the answer exists, but it is inconsistent or hard to find. 2 means the path is clear and dependable.
Harbor gets a 1 for understand because the service list exists, but the main promise is vague. Maybe a 1 for trust because the reviews are real but poorly placed. Contact is a 0 for the after-hours caller. That is the urgent fix.
I would give decide a 1 and commit a 1. The estimates exist, but the options and follow-up are unclear. The agreement may be accurate, but if the customer cannot understand timing, the final step still feels risky.
Then add 2 more ratings, business impact and implementation effort. The unanswered call is high impact and low effort to improve. Rewriting every page of the website may be high impact, but it is more work. Harbor should fix the response promise and inquiry capture first, then clarify the homepage, then improve estimate follow-up, 1 action at a time.
And test it with a person who does not already know Harbor. Ask them to find the right service, contact the company, and explain what they think will happen next. Do not rescue them halfway through. Their hesitation is information.
I write for search and for trust, and trust is often visible in the question someone asks twice. If 5 visitors ask, do you work on older systems? That is not just a sales question. It is evidence that the website has left a gap.
That is the broader partner lesson. Marbleism is easier to explain when you connect each agent to a real bottleneck. You are not saying, here is a collection of clever tools. You are saying, your customers are confused about the service, so start here. Your calls are being missed, so address that. Your estimates are stalling, so make the decision easier.
That is a much more honest recommendation. No agent magically fixes a business. The business owner still approves the claims, chooses the priorities, speaks with customers, and makes the final decisions. The agents help the team see and handle the work consistently. A good system should make the business sound more like itself, not less. If the customer receives a polished message that feels unlike the owner, trust can go down instead of up.
So before you buy more attention, make sure your offer is ready to receive it. Ask whether people understand the promise, trust the evidence, can contact you easily, can make a decision without chasing basic information, and can commit without confusion. Then choose the highest impact fix and assign it to the right person or agent.
If the customer has to become a detective, the business has created another job.
And this post should earn attention, not beg for it. The same is true of the entire buying experience.
Thanks for listening to the Marbleism Effect, part of Marbleism Partner Network. Subscribe for more practical episodes on AI agents, business workflows, communication, and growth. Then run the 5-question audit on your own customer journey. Find one place where a prospect may hesitate, choose one improvement, and test it with a real person this week. You can explore Marbleism and the partner opportunity through my link in the show notes. Marbleism, where your AI agents do the office work so you can do the customer work. See you next time.
Ooh. The Marblism Partner Network. We're shifting the